That's where I'd like you to help. And in terms of that, I want them not only to create their folders in the audit area, but also be familiar with where I'd like you to Zoom, help. And in terms of that, of a participant and the role of a host and a co-host. So in order to be a host, Catherine, what do they have to do differently?
To be a full-on host, they would have to like launch their own Zoom.
Yeah,
you're the host. You could be the host.
So we need to make sure that everybody understands it, because a lot of people don't understand it. And then we also want them to be able to record on premise versus recording in the cloud. So we want to be able to distinguish that as well. Okay. And then Emily, did you get the book? Didn't get it either. Okay.
And I was waiting to see, because like there was options on the syllabus. I was confused. It was just
okay. Like, yeah, we'll go over that as well. What is your major, Emily?
Still undecided.
I know. I'm still undecided too on a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm leaning either towards economics or marketing.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then what I'll have everyone do is to have their cameras on as well when we're always here. Okay. And we'll see how we may have to do more than one screen, right? Because we have so many students. We'll see how many people we can fit in on one screen. Okay. So did anyone here get the book yet? So we'll do the book as well. We'll see how we do. My TAs, any questions you guys have? Any suggestions?
Yeah, I just think maybe all the TAs should just rename themselves by adding a TA to the end of their name so that we're easily.
Oh, that's good.
If you click on the 3 dots at the top right corner of your little video, you should see a rename option, and then just put TA at the end of it.
Yeah, that's great. Good idea. I like it. So that's one of the things that I want to do with this class is always everybody can come up with great ideas, you know, and encourage them, and we can change it. And when things don't work, we know we're going to have issues, right? Have you ever seen lately, have you ever even turned on to TV in the news, how many times they say we have internet problems when they're interviewing someone, right? Everybody's having issues all the time. So we got to think about backup and how we can use that. Great. Okay, and Juliana, did you check if there's room in this section?
Yeah, I'm number 6 on the wait list.
Oh, there's a wait list. Wow.
Yeah, so.
Okay. I have a question. I'm sorry, This guy here. What's going on with this teaching assistant thing? Because I have that on my
we'll discuss it. You got promoted, huh?
Already?
Looks like it. I don't know. We'll talk about it. About your being a teaching assistant. Yeah, some people are. Yeah. See, that's confusing, right? It's a good point that they're seeing, hey, the whole class should have TA after their name.
That's a fair point.
Wow, I'm doing really great promotions here. You know, it's a hard job market, and you guys are already having jobs. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Who was asking that question? Raise your hand.
I was.
Okay,
me.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So everybody should show their face. Wow, it's already 7:40. Can you imagine how fast time goes, right? I love it. So we'll see how many people we can squeeze in here. That's probably another update that we want to do for Zoom is they can give 100 people on the screen, right? That's what we can do. Because in the beginning was only 20, or was it 25? And I think in the middle of the semester, we were able to expand once we did the updates. So we'll see how many we
I have a
we
question.
can do that. So we have it that everybody is muted when they begin, and then we'll respond. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Will the classes run all the way till 10?
Well, we'll discuss it. I'll be happy. You know, since we're getting running, we're wondering, hey, will it go all the way till, what is it listed as 11 midnight, 3 in the morning? It's almost like that. I was wondering myself, you know, if I fall asleep, just wake me, you know. I'll take a little nap in the beginning. So we'll see what we'll do. So we'll try to make it as interesting as possible and break up. Yeah, to listen to me for 3 hours, I'd fall asleep, you know. So we'll definitely do other things, and we'll see how it will go. Because we're only meeting this section. We're only meeting once a week. Yeah, so it's difficult. I think last semester, right, Catherine, we were twice a week, weren't we?
Yeah.
So it was a little bit easier once, you know. And you remember it was even that's long, you know, sitting on Zoom. I don't know if it's harder. It's interesting if it's harder sitting in a Zoom class or sitting physically in the class. What do you think? What do you think, Catherine?
I feel like I'm tempted to go on my phone all the time.
In Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm in these meetings, you know, and I just put it on mute, and then I say, well, I'll in this class I'm requiring, you know, I say, oh, maybe I'll make breakfast, maybe I'll make lunch, maybe I'll make dinner, you know what I mean? It's really tempting, and hearing it, yeah, it's tempting. But in some ways you can kind of stretch, you know. I guess I'm getting used to it, you know, in the beginning, because you can imagine for me just sitting in a chair was difficult. You know, I love walking around, you know, in a regular classroom. I love being across. Can you imagine, you know, you remember that Avner used to go, and then we were even filming at that time, pre-pandemic. Remember, we were filming our class, and we were having people do Zoom, and they were all of a sudden saying, hey, what's going on? What kind of premonition did she have that a pandemic was coming? So that's my research, you know. So we're coming in here, 7:40. Everybody put on your, we're going to start the class, right? We have a number of participants. Good. So everybody put in your picture, your webcam, and we'll get started. We have 50 already here. And we'll see once we'll do that. Okay. So everyone, welcome to my section. I'm Dr. Sarah Rushnick, and I am going to be your professor for this semester in business technology, information systems, and innovations. So we'll do, tonight is our first night together, and we have a huge class. Usually in the past, I've had students of 30, then they increased when I went to remote, they increased it to 40, and now I have 55 and people on the waiting list. So my role will be, how do I engage all these people, and how do I engage you, that this will be an interesting semester, and that you can find ways in which technology can help, and how do we do it participants here. I have asked my most enthusiastic students in the past to join me in being my teaching assistants throughout this semester, and they'll be moderating the chat and letting me know if there's certain questions that I need to answer, and I'll try to answer all your questions. In this evening tonight, I'm going to go through basically all the rules that apply to my course. We'll go through traditionally the course syllabus. I'll go through what are the subject areas we'll be covering this semester, how it will be formatted. Some of you are asking, What will we do for all those hours together? I'll talk about that. I'll also talk about assignments. And some of you have seen already that you should be listed as, what is it called? Teaching assistants? Is that what it's called? Courses that you'll be teaching. So we'll talk about how you were really promoted as well. So I have 2 screens here, and I'll have my things. I'll introduce myself, then I'll introduce my teaching assistants that will be with me. I'll be doing some polling, and I'll answer all your questions. So first of all, I'm Dr. Sarah Rushnick, and welcome. I am a professor in the School of Business in the Department of Business Technology, and I'm also a professor of health informatics in the business school and in the medical school. In the medical school, there's a program called translational research, and that basically is taking medical research and bringing it into products. So I work with a number of physicians and other researchers in the medical school to help them get innovative projects and bring them to market. I am a graduate of Tel Aviv University, and I've worked with a number of Israeli startups and tech companies. And I received my PhD at the University of Texas at Austin. And I've taught in a number of schools around the world, also around the country as well, the University of Maryland, UCLA, the University of San Francisco, and abroad in London and Tel Aviv University and the Technion. My research interests have been in using technology and finding ways for businesses to be more efficient, productive, increase their revenues, decrease their costs, and engage with their customers. This semester also, I'm working with the city of Coral Gables, and I'm helping businesses that have had rough times in this pandemic and helping them with technology to engage with their customers, whether bricks and mortar, and when they're in their businesses to reach out on the online, bring their customers in from online and figure out ways to engage their clients and customers. So I will be, in this class, I'll also have outside speakers come in, and it's easy now. They're not going to be coming in physically. They'll also be coming in online. So I'll go through that. I just wanted to introduce my teaching assistant. So Avner, you want to start first and just introduce yourself, and then we'll, afterwards, when we go to the audit area, they'll have all your information, and you can even maybe in the chat even put some of your information as well after you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Avner Yeshurun. I am the lead teaching assistant for BTE 210, which I took about a year ago with Dr. Rushanek. I really enjoyed the class, and that's why I'm still here. I live in Miami, and I am in the business school studying finance with a minor in financial technology and another minor in accounting. And my job in this class is to answer as many questions as I can so that Dr. Rush can focus on imparting her knowledge to you guys. So my information is in the audit section, which we're going to get to later. Feel free to contact me at my phone number or through email with any questions you may have about class, so we can resolve them. And if I can't resolve them, then I'm going to pass them on to Dr. Rush. But let's all try to work together here to make sure the class runs smoothly. Looking forward to spending the semester with you guys.
Okay, great. And as I was saying, what I do is the best students have a different role, and you know what it is to be a student. I know what it is to be a professor. Many times you can give me feedback, and it really helps when I have other prior students that know what they what was not clear to them, what worked, that they can be available to you. And also I give opportunities for my students to be in leadership roles. So all the time when, for instance, an example, when I'm working with the city of Coral Gables, I offered them to have interns work with these businesses. So I was telling them that they'll have basically first dibs on working with these businesses and matchmaking. And later on, some of you that are interested can stay with me after class or send an email if you're interested in taking a leadership role, that you're interested, whether it's going to be in marketing, finance, it doesn't matter. Think about the pandemic now. It's really changed, accelerated how we're using technology. Okay, Juliana.
Hi, I'm Juliana Madoris. I'm a junior studying health management and policy and with a minor in public health in the business school. So I'm interested in healthcare consulting or maybe healthcare marketing. I'm still deciding between the two, but I'm excited for this semester and help you guys out through BTE 210. I took health informatics with Dr. Rush last semester, and it was really interesting.
Yeah.
So
we did in, there's a health informatics, those of you the health sector management, and also those who are in BTE majors or minors can take my class in health informatics. And what I do there, it's similar to this course, but we're focusing on healthcare. And now, especially with telemedicine, you know it as well, with COVID, the idea of tracing, we're doing that as well. Great. And Ripley?
Hi guys, I'm Ripley Kunkel. Last semester I was a health science major.
Ripley, can you do me a favor and lower, is there a way for you to lower your camera? Or
sure.
make yourself in the middle?
Is that better?
One of the things, let me make a note here for Ripley, and a lot of times I'll emphasize it. What I want in this class is for us to gain practice in being professional. And one of the things is what our background is and being in the middle of the picture. So a lot of times I see people, they look like in the witness protection program, you know, they're wearing a hat and all I can see is their eyes. So one of the things that I want you to do is to be able that you can gain practice in being part of a collaborative session. Go ahead. Ripley, anything?
Okay, no, sorry about that. Last semester I was a health science major and I took 450 and that was health informatics. I really enjoyed the class. We created our own website. I haven't taken this class, but I'm really tempted to. I can't fit it in my schedule right now, but I really hope you guys will like it.
Okay, great. So maybe this way you get a preview, Ripley, and
right.
then you're going in another semester. So we'll be setting up websites. We'll be doing also, I'll do this semester, I'll do mobile app development. So we'll do that as well. And Catherine?
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Walsh. I go by Kate, though.
Okay.
I took this class last semester, so hopefully I can give you guys some tips on how to do well and answer your questions. But my forte was really, I feel like, designing the website. So when that unit comes, I will help you guys out for sure.
So you know what, Catherine, why don't you do this? If you want to be called Kate, you can change your title there and just put in Kate.
That's fine.
But it's okay. So great. All right. So these are my 4. We'll be switching it around as well if you have any other questions. And I'm recording this class. You'll be able, I think, when you go to your Zoom meetings, is that correct? You'll be able to see the recordings of the class. It should be. I'm recording to what we call the cloud. And Sarah, do you know what that means? Have you ever heard of the cloud?
Yes.
What do you think that means?
It's like, it stores like, I don't know how to explain it, but without taking up storage like on your hard drive, it like.
Perfect. It's not storing on premises on your computer, it's storing it on computer somewhere else. And how do you gain access to it? Usually on the cloud.
Miami gave us our own cloud account. So
cloud account with what? OneDrive with Microsoft?
OneDrive.
OneDrive's in the cloud. So who's hosting it? Microsoft, right? And how do you gain access to it? Through a browser, right? Through the internet. So I'm recording now in Zoom to the cloud. So that means who do you think's hosting it? Sarah?
You.
I'm not hosting it. What do you see? Do you see on the top here, does it say Zoom meeting?
Zoom, yeah.
Okay, so who do you think's hosting it, Sarah?
Zoom.
Company Zoom, right? Zoom is hosting it. So they'll have a number of companies. I'm not hosting it. If I hosted it, it would mean what? That I would have to have a computer and I would have to have a way in which to store it. So in this case, we're having it. Now, what we can do is we can store it locally to the computer and you'll have it. So we'll talk about what we're doing here. We'll talk about roles. So if looking at that, we'll talk about roles as well, of what role we have. Right now, I'm the host and I've made all my TAs, I've made them co-hosts of this meeting. And your role is a participant, right? So if I look at participants, do you see any participants down below? Do you have a down below here on your screen, do you have participants, the list of participants? Yeah. So those are participants. They're called, that's the role of a participant here. That's different than the role of who has more, Sarah, who has more capabilities, a host or a participant, you think?
A host.
A host, right? It's simple. Now, one of the things that Kate and I guess all of my TAs know is I call on people without raising their hand. So if you don't like that, what can we say, Kate? That it's probably not the class you want to be in.
No matter what, so.
What?
I said you did it no matter what.
But I did it no matter what. The only thing I will do, and let me tell you kind of like the rules here, is the only thing I will do is if you have a bad day or you're really feeling so bad, people were getting, in the middle, we're in a pandemic and a lot of our people were getting COVID and so forth. You can, in advance, let me know or let our TAs know, and I'll allow you to turn off your camera. But other than that, cameras need to be on. You need to be professional in this class because we're practicing. We're practicing and we're just getting more comfortable in being professional here and deciding here. And if you have any questions or something, put them in the chat and my moderators here will let me know because sometimes I don't look at who's asking questions, but feel free even during my station here to have that available to me. Okay, so that's number one. We start on time at 7:40. I'll usually be in earlier. I'll usually be in here by 7:20. So if you want to come in early, you're welcome to. And I will stay as somebody was asking how long this class lasts. I'll usually not go for the entire 3 hours, but I will stay as long as you need me. So afterwards, if you need any of you have questions that you want to ask me or you want to have me look at your work, I will be here as long as you need me. So if it's really after our amount of time, that's not an issue. Okay? Any other questions on that? So I have everybody's face here and we can do that. So let's do this. I'm going to share my screen. And once I share my screen, I'm going to minimize. You see my screen here, right? So I'm going to go to Blackboard. Everybody see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
If you don't, let me know. You'll see I have my Blackboard here. Let's see. And I have the Blackboard. In Blackboard, your screen's going to look different than mine, but it says courses where you're an instructor, and it should say BTE 210 KL1. Now you have another area where it says courses, what does it say then? In this case, Avner, what does it say? Courses where you're what, a teaching assistant? Is that what it says?
There's instructor and teaching assistant. For KL1, we should all be just students, for the students in the class.
Yeah, right, but in KL1. So I'm going to go right now, think about it right now. I'm going where you're a student here into BTE 210 KL1. Fundamentals of Business Technology and Innovation, Spring 2000, right, 2021. Can you imagine? It's already 21. Okay. There should be areas in here where you see this. You all should have gotten in through the Zoom, and the first thing you see is announcements. I put in announcements, and I also send out emails. So I know a number of you don't look at your emails, but for this class, you need to look at your emails because I'll be doing certain announcements here. The first one was, of course, welcome to the first day of class. Avner posted, and you can see here, it was posted by Avner here, where he posted, you should have the latest version of Zoom before the class in order to have updates. Zoom became quite popular, not only in the United States, but also throughout the world in Zoom. So they are now trying to update and put in new features all the time. Almost every week they're putting in new features. So we're gonna check all the time for features. And then what we'll talk about too is the textbook that we're gonna be using for Wiley Plus. And we'll go over that. A number of you were asking me questions before the class, and also I'm like you, why go and get the book before you know what you're gonna need? And also you wanna see, hey, is this the class I really wanna be in? So this is with the textbook. So the first thing after we do the announcements and we go to the Zoom meetings, every time in class, what I do is I take attendance. I take attendance, and sometimes I'll take attendance in the beginning of the class. Sometimes I'll take attendance at the end of the class, but let's see if it works. I'm going to click on attendance here. And this is an add-on to Blackboard. It's called Quickly Attendance. And I'm going to go, notice I have all my students listed, right? I have from Cindy to Suli to Pietro to Tessa. I have all my students that are listed, but also I'll do just regular, rather than asking each student manually to take roll, what I'll do is I'll do check-in. And when I do my check-in, I'll start my check-in, it'll load course enrollments, and then there'll appear a number here where students can check in until check-in period closes or ended, and it's 1543. So what do they need to do, Kate?
Basically, as soon as you click on the attendance link, it's just going to tell you to enter the code, and then you put in 1543 and then hit enter and you're checked in.
Okay, so you're checked in. So everybody do that so we can know that it's working. A lot of times with this technology, what I'm going to be emphasizing is that you need to check, recheck, and document. So many times there's issues where it doesn't work. So you want to make sure that we'll learn how to document certain things that will work. So I usually give, I think, don't you think it's 2 minutes too long? I think 2 minutes is too long, but we'll give people away. And then when I have attendance record, I see already. Cindy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Right. So you see Cindy already, you're signed in. So you can see, and you'll be able to see in the gray book. Sometimes things aren't working as well, but you can see a number of students here are checked in and a number of students aren't. So some people have signed up for the class, don't show up. So even when you were asking before, Juliana, that you may be able after this class even to enter. We'll see how it is. So that'll be a good part. So you'll see that under those announcements that things work as well. So I have my pages, and then you can see that mostly you can see how long the list is here, that I have it even where I had it. So Riley, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's set in. So you can see here that a number of Noah is there, a number of students. So you can see my end that I get in, and you'll be able to see in your grade center. Those of you who had it before, you can do it. And you can see that I could export. I have the role of instructor. I have the export. I have the totals. And every time that I take roll, you'll see that. Okay, so that's available here. That's an attendance, and I'll vary that. Usually I'll try to do it in the beginning of class. Sometimes I'll do it more towards the end, but remind me if I haven't done.
Sorry, excuse me, Professor, can you go over how to get to how to do it again? It's not working for me. I just want to make sure I have it all right.
Okay, so why don't you do this already? Also, if your attendance doesn't work, you can, it's perfect, Juliana. Just stay after class with me and we'll set that up and see what the issues are. Okay? Because I don't want to, if I redo it again, I don't want to take up time doing it. But stay with me after class. And if you weren't in the attendance, we'll see what was the issue. And I'll put you in manually. Perfect. Thank you, Juliana. Okay, so that was attendance. We're going down the list here under syllabus. Let's go to the syllabus, because isn't that great when you're the first day of class here, you can have it. You have two things in the syllabus. You have the syllabus itself, and you have the first day with the Wiley Plus. So let's look at the syllabus. We'll look at it together. And as I always say, everything's a choice in life, and you have a choice to be here. I have chosen to be here every Monday evening. You have the choice to join me or not. So I'm giving you this choice, and if you want to, I allow you to see what are we going to be doing with that choice. So I have the course syllabus, and it's similar to that, and we'll talk about what kind of processing we do. I'm going to enable this, and I'm going to make it full screen so we can have it. You can read just as well as I have, but I'm just go through a couple of points. This is me, Dr. Sarah Rushanek. Usually I tell you, come to my office. My office now is remotely. It's via Zoom, okay? Here's a telephone in my office. The idea is now we're not supposed to even hold office hours physically, but you can dial that and it sends me an email. But the best thing I suggest you want to get to me is send me an email and put in the email that it's BTE 210 and your section, and I'll attempt to answer it. What we'll do in my office hours is right now we'll set up earlier before the class, but also I'll have after class, I'll spend time with you. And if there's other times, which is nice, when you need to see me, it'll be by appointment, and we can even, if it's needed, we can set up something as an email, or we can even set up a Zoom session. And here's my email here. And the course materials, we're using the Introduction to Information Systems, and we're also being used with the Wiley Plus. So the idea here, what I'm going to emphasize in this course is not only we'll learn the fundamental knowledge of information systems. There's going to be a lot of acronyms. What I'd like you to do is, what did I usually tell you to do in class if you didn't know an acronym, Kate?
Just Google it.
Just Google it. You got Google. So even if I ask a question in class and you're not quite sure what is the meaning, none of us know all this, right? It's basically, none of us were born with this, but basically that's, Google is our friend in this class. And the way to find information is everything's going to be changing. Even the software that we go over, it's going to be changing. And it is accelerating so much now for businesses, this technology, that I want you to be able to use your computer and to be able to Google it and find it. Once you start reading it, what I'm going to be able to do is tell you to help you understand it more and see where it's applied, rather than just knowing what an acronym is. What is important, like what is an OS, that it means operating system, or you can see right here, IoT, right? And John, what's IoT? And when he says, what is the good thing? What should he be doing? And the whole class should be doing it is what, John?
Reading.
Google it, right?
Yeah.
IoT, and basically IoT stands for what? And that's the beauty here. So don't feel bad that it's your but it's basically, and have you ever heard of it? Besides knowing what it stands for, have you ever heard of it, John?
I have not until now.
Okay. So did you Google it?
I did Google it.
And what does it say?
Internet of Things.
Internet of Things. So think about it. Do you have anything that's an Internet of Things in your house? What could it possibly be?
Cars, refrigerators.
Refrigerators, what else? Have you heard of Alexa? Yeah, that basically, all those basically devices now are Internet of Things. Basically in a car, you think you have an Internet of Things? You're having computers in your car? Have you ever heard of self-driving cars, right? Being able to tell you, to be able to see if there's a pedestrian walking through, that'll stop. It basically helps you, cars that help you not wake you up when you're sleeping or veering off into another lane. That's what, Internet of Things, having smart switches, right? Having smart TVs. Nest, everything here, that's IoT. But what's the problem here, John, is when they say an IoT security. Why do they put IoT and securities together? Have you ever heard of Ring? John?
Yeah, I've heard of Ring.
Okay, what is it?
It's like a doorbell system.
How do they basically, so what can you do in Ring?
You can see who's at your door.
You can see who's at your door, and via what?
Your cell phone.
Through their cell phone. And how are you basically checking? And if you're not at home, can you see who's at your door?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's it work then? Via what? Via a browser, via an internet, right?
Yeah.
So is Ring an Internet of Things?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. See, you're on a roll, John. So, and then the idea here in security, why do we have to worry about that? Why do we have to worry about that?
For our own safety.
Safety, why? Because somebody can do what? Somebody can hack into it and see if you have Ring. They basically maybe can go into your house and see what you're doing in your house. They've seen like they have baby monitors. They have a number of security systems, right? Do you want them to be? Do you want some nefarious kind of guys looking in your house via the internet? I don't. So what can they do? They can have IoT security. So what we're going to be doing in this class is the course is going to begin with talking about the internet, talking about protocols, talking about the World Wide Web, right? and we'll learn about search strategies. We'll learn about what we call SEO, search engine optimization through web browsing. And the course will focus in, we'll talk about computer hardware, things like Ring, things like our computers, right? Including the system unit, what's going to be inputted or output or storage. And the remainder will be talking about application software, systems software. We'll be talking about business applications. We'll be talking about big data analytics. So in this case, then David, what is your major?
I'm a finance major.
You're a finance major. So what we'll also be doing is, have you ever heard of Fintech, David?
No.
Okay, what do you think it means?
I have no idea.
When I hear what do you do, David?
Google it.
Google it. Great. Right? So in this case, that you can be active. When we don't know, who else is a finance? Mason, what is your major?
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. So it's the same idea. And John, what do you raise your hand?
I'm a finance major as well.
Finance major. Have you ever heard of Fintech, John?
I have now.
You have now, because if we're a finance major, we really need to know that it is changing. Finance is changing. How many people then, if you're marketing is changing. It's not what they say, like your father's marketing, and it's not your father's finance. It's all changing basically what? So what did you find, David? Did you find something about Fintech?
Oh, I'll Google it right now. I didn't know I was supposed to.
Good. So Shannon, have you heard about Fintech? So what I want you to do is, I just don't want one person to lay back, one person to do all the work. When I say Google it, what do I want? I want everybody to do that. So when I call on you, right? And if you don't like to be called on, you'll get used to it. Or if you don't, what happens, Kate, if you don't? They'll be called
doesn't matter.
Anyway. Huh?
I said it doesn't
It'll be
matter.
a miserable semester if you're cringing now.
Yeah, just wait.
Being nice now, right, Kate?
Yeah.
They're seeing my good side, huh?
Mm-hmm. Just wait.
Just wait till she really. And now I don't expect much because I didn't give any readings. Can you imagine when I give you a homework assignment and you're not prepared? Right now is the easiest time. Right, David, when you say, who cares about it? You didn't know, you didn't read anything. The first day is always, I love class the first day because everybody has like the clean sheet. Everybody are up to date with all their homeworks, right, Kate? They've all done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
100%. Those of you that love to be a slacker, this is not a good section for you. Those that love to learn and want to go on their own and learn more, this is great. And that's what I'll reward. Right? I know how it is to be, that all the time, this is not what you have of interest, you have other ideas. So going back to this, what did you find, John? Fintech. Did you find something?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, financial technology.
Financial technology. What does that mean? Once we find it in Google, now we got to find out what the beauty is. We got to know how to apply it.
It's like Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.
Anything that's being done electronically, digitally. And also what we have is, why do you want to go into finance, John?
Make money. Make
money. And what do you want to do? Just making money. I can I can rob a bank and make money too. I can do, but what do we want to do? What do you want to, you have any idea what you want to do with finance? Why do you want to study it?
I'm a very math-oriented person.
Okay, math-oriented person. Perfect, John. You'll be one of our group leaders. I sense it right now, John, because if you're math-oriented, have you ever heard of automated trading systems? Forecasting, right? That if we think about, have you heard of the stock market, John? Sure you have, right?
Yes, I have.
Right. When we talk about the stock market, what percentage of trades are done by the computer versus manually, you think, now?
The vast majority.
What percent, Daniel?
Probably over 80%, probably 80%.
Let's think 90-95%. So all of our trading is done by what we call algorithms. Basically, they're pre-programmed that the computer then, people then design their algorithms. Later on, even computers will design these algorithms, and the computer will trade for people. What that is we're going to be going over that in class. Daniel, we'll be going over that in class. What's your major, Daniel?
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. And a lot of entrepreneurs now in Fintech is a big area. And what will
actually,
what?
I'm personally, I own a media agency. I do a lot of marketing, actually.
Great.
So this is why I took this class. So
great. So you can be really, we'll talk after class and we'll see what you're doing. Maybe you can even do a little a short presentation on what you're doing. We can see how we can combine that, what we want to do. My goal here in the class is whatever interest you have, whether it's marketing, whether it's law, whether it's finance, we'll find areas for you to flourish by using technology, because it's going to be there, whether it's going to be social media, right, in agencies, if it's going to be in law. Now they're going to be doing a number of even, there's law now, people will invite some of the lawyers that I know that are doing cryptocurrency, they're doing blockchain. Anybody ever hear of Bitcoin, how well that's doing? Basically, Bitcoin is developed on blockchain. So when we think about Fintech, when we think about those automated trading systems, what are we thinking about? We're thinking about forecasting. And we'll be doing some automated trading systems in this class. I'll show you how to run strategies. We'll basically then edit strategies, and we'll see how that can run. A person that's involved in these strategies is called a quant trader. A quant trader, the beginning salary of a quant trader, beginner. Any ideas? Wilson, have you ever heard of a quant trader?
No, never.
No, a quant, what is your major, Wilson?
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship too, great. A quant trader is those people that basically are writing and running these trading strategies. They're part of a group usually.
Say like 200,000.
250 starting, plus, and I love the plus commissions. So if your strategy is really making money, you get a commission from those. So we'll talk about those that are especially math oriented that you were talking about, John, is a great opportunity for you to get involved in, and I'll show you how to do it. And those that have not had any programming, I'll show you that you don't even need to be a programmer. Those that do or have a tendency for program, I'll show that. And those that don't can even just learn how to run it and basically keep track of it. And basically have the computer, if it's a good strategy, you can just, just check on your phone of how much you're making. But you need to do what? Life, especially in the market, think about this world, changes very quickly. So do you think, John, strategies have to change?
Of course.
And they have to adapt quite quickly. Think about a year ago, right? We're now in the end of January. It was just the beginning of where in Wuhan, where it was the COVID, right? The corona, just in the beginning. It didn't even reach that we knew about in the United States.
Which programming languages used? Is it Python?
Python is one. We'll be doing something in C#. Have you ever done any programming, John?
I just bought a book like a few weeks ago that I'm working through.
Good. So we'll show you. So there's a number. Python is one. Another one's called C#. We'll be doing a number of programming. So don't worry. But I just want to give you a flavor of what we're doing. And those of you that are interested, we'll be doing a project in this class. And those that are interested, really get involved with the trading strategies and want to learn more, can even have your project just emphasize on that. And those of you that are not as interested in these trading in developing them can run those. And those that are interested in something else can focus. So that's what I want this class to be. But the idea is I want to find almost, when we think, you know how everybody says, find the passion that you have. Sometimes that's not so easy, but if you find something that you really like, that's what I want to be able to nurture with you. Okay, so we'll be talking about this. The course that'll focus on those software, and students will develop skills in these business applications, big data analytics. Anybody hear about that? Victoria, did you hear about the word big data?
No, I have not, but I'll look it up now.
Great, look at that. How we responded so well, right? Anybody then, I've seen it. And when I say it to Victoria, what am I actually wanting everybody to do, Cindy? When I say big data.
To go and look for it too.
So go ahead and have a sense to be more active. Because my God, you know, to sit here all night, I could, you know what I mean? To be not active is really difficult. So when I ask, for instance, Victoria, it's the same thing I'm asking everybody. So when I switch from Victoria to go to Charlotte, I know that Charlotte already is looking that up, right? So we can do that along with it. So did you find something, Victoria?
Yeah, big data is a term that describes a large volume of data, both structured and unstructured.
Okay, large volume. So we know data, large volume. So going back to where I was talking to John about automated trading system, we're thinking about the stock market. John, do you think the stock market data is a good example of big data?
The what?
Pardon?
What'd you say? The what?
Big data. We're talking about big data. I say, is the stock market, forecasting the stock market or using automated trading system strategies, is that an example of big data?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Is there a lot of data? Of course. Yeah. How much is it?
A lot of factors to consider.
Yeah, even just with one stock, right? Anybody hear of Bitcoin? Bitcoin to US? Think about it. Every tick. We're not even talking about end of day, but what? We can think about millions, billions of data. And what do we want to do? We want to find what, Victoria? We want to find patterns in the data. And some data is structured. Like I can think about structured, let's say with this class, that you'll have tests and that's going to be structured, right? You'll get a number. But unstructured can be what? Let's say we do videos and we want to do video tracing. You ever heard of, Victoria, face recognition?
Yes.
Yeah, where have you seen it or heard about it?
Not really sure. I just know that it's
do you have Facebook? Have you ever been on Facebook?
I have it, but I don't really use it.
Okay, but have you ever heard about somebody being tagged their face, right? That we can basically tell somebody that we can find it? Have you ever heard of it, Zoe? Facial recognition? Have you ever watched any videos, Zoe?
Oh, no, I haven't watched any videos
you haven't
on it,
watched
but I know that like
any time in your life you haven't watched any videos?
Like explaining it or?
No, looking at them. Have you ever viewed videos?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were living under a bed or something. You never
No, I promise I'm not.
Right. So you just didn't understand what my question was, right? So
right,
in videos, right? The problem with videos is it unstructured or structured? It's going to be unstructured because it's hard to put it in a table, in an Excel spreadsheet and do something with videos. So when Victoria said that big data is structured and unstructured, right? Videos, and do we get a lot of videos? Sure. Do we want to search on videos to find certain topics in certain areas? We do. Do we want to do anything with emotions, right? To find if somebody's sad for mental health, for instance. Do we want to be able to predict if somebody is very sad or somebody's depressed or somebody, God forbid, is suicidal? It may be something that we can see in their facial expressions, Have you ever seen, how do you tell, Zoe, when one of your friends, when you're looking at them, that they're sad or they're happy, right? Those kinds of areas that maybe the computer can help in. So that's the area we're going to be doing is big data analytics. And as I mentioned, automated system programming. And I'll go over that in the next couple of weeks. We'll have assignments on it. We'll go over that. And we talked about that IT security. And then in the line of what we'll be covering about the hardware, because hardware is getting what? It's getting cheaper and it's getting more powerful. Just even think about your phones, right? Every few months, there's a new versions of the phones, new versions of laptops, and what happens? They become more powerful, the price goes down. Software, there's so many different ways that we're going to be able to do software. Mobile basically is the key now. Apps, app development, we'll be doing that in the class, looking at some app development. And then we'll be talking about enterprise technology concepts. So we got to figure out together what enterprise means. There's so many words here and it's so easy to forget what the heck we're talking about. But what do you think, Cindy, is enterprise mean?
I'm not sure, but maybe could it be of a company or a business?
Exactly, it's company-wide. So where we are, what's the enterprise? Our university is an enterprise. It's an enterprise-wide, and how's that different from us individually? Is a lot of times the enterprise needs different information technology requirements than one individual person. They have to take into considerations our role, whether it's student or employee or professor or physician. But the enterprise, you got it, Cindy, that enterprise is looking at the entire organization. And we'll be looking at that as well. What does an entire organization need? And we're thinking about networks. What network did we log into right here? What's a network? Osvaldo, what's a network? You have any idea?
I think a network is like a connected set of like computers and computer programs.
Yeah.
You know,
Osvaldo,
anything that
what's
just
your
like
major?
connect. Oh, I'm a finance major.
Okay, so the idea is perfect. So the network, basically, does the university have a network?
Yeah, because the university, from what I understand, has a connected set of computers and stuff. I'm pretty
Right,
sure
so when you
there's,
log
like,
on, have you ever seen like a version where you log on, they say you're logging into the university's network? And you
yeah,
have to buy, right, when I say, I know
sign
we're
in.
on the right track, right? When you're logging in the university, what is that? Why do they tell you you're logging into the university network? Why not just, why are they telling us that? Osvaldo.
So that we know that we're connected to a different network, or
And what else are they trying to tell us? Do they have a right to see what we're doing on their network?
It depends on their terms and services.
In this university, do they have a right to see what we're doing on their network?
Yes.
Yes, they do. We have to abide by what? Their
rules, terms and services.
Terms of service. So if they see that we're doing something illegal, they can shut us off and they can even kick us off the network and not be able to do that. So we'll be talking about that. And are universities vulnerable, you think, to outside hackers? Osvaldo.
I just think it depends on the security of the network and how.
Yeah, but even if they're secure, is anything 100% secure, you think, Osvaldo?
No, because
no, they're not. And are they, you know what they want to do? Universities are very susceptible to hackers. And you know what universities really love to do? Does everybody, you think there are a lot of computers on campus or logged into the network, Osvaldo?
Yes, of course.
Right. They're physically, they're labs, they're physical labs. And now those physical labs we're not able to get to sometimes because of this pandemic. But what? Everybody else, you all have computers that you can do what? You can log into, right? Remotely. And what do the hackers want to do? The hackers want to be able to, everybody that's on the network, to get into your computers, all the students' computers, and use your computers to hack into other systems around the world. And you're not even aware of it. So once I get into yours, if I want to do a major hack, let's say I want to, whatever, we're going to be talking about this, and we'll have some security experts from around the world come join us in the evenings, and they'll show us that what they can do is they can come in, they can be on all our computers, including mine, where let's say I'm residing in my house. They can get onto mine because I'm in what? I'm on the university's network. Once I got onto courses and once I got on, I'm using the university's network right now, right? They can log on, they can put a piece of software onto my machine, your machine, and let's say we have 50 people here, small number, we have 50 people here. What are we gonna do? We'll be able to do what? They'll be able to take all our computers and they'll be able to attack other systems without our knowledge. Pretty scary, huh? But what are they gonna do? We're all their little bots. Have you ever heard of a bot, like a robot? They put it in that we're now all attacking, let's say, an Amazon or a Google or the Defense Department or a bank. And they keep on doing it. We don't know their password, but if we do it a number of times, we'll crack it. And they say, why do I have to go and buy 100 computers? I'll just go to these universities instead of and I just have 50. We have 10,000 students. We can get their computers. They're not even aware, and they can attack. So they are really scared, the universities, to say, hey, they got a whole bunch of guys. Everybody's kind of loose there with their security systems, and they can do it. Then we'll talk about databases. What are databases? Databases are all the time. I have a student database. There's an employee database. Amazon. Cooper, have you ever shopped on Amazon?
Yes.
Yeah, so Amazon basically has a number of databases. What do they have? They have databases about us. I've never bought so much, but in this pandemic from Amazon, almost Amazon's at my door every day, right? So what are they able to do? They're able to see what? My history. And do you think they have big data, Cooper?
Yes.
Yeah, they have a lot of data and they can predict. Have you ever gotten like recommendations? Once you bought something, they'll recommend some other things. How do they get that? It's from big data and databases, and they're forecasting what I'm interested in. Marketing does it all the time, right? Then we'll talk about ERP, enterprise, which Cindy was telling me is like the whole organization and all their resources, how to plan it. So for instance, payroll, financial, budgeting, that's all ERP. And well, of course, we'll talk about this, going to be really key, is information security, because we're all vulnerable. We're vulnerable, like we think about our houses to be secure, but we're much more vulnerable digitally. Did you hear about all those hacks that, you know, from the Russians, from the Chinese? You don't even have to go through that. A lot of times you have to be worried about information security from your own employees. You know, I have all those programmers, John. What do I know what they're doing? They're on their computer. They know the weaknesses of the system even better than I do. If I'm the CEO of a company, my programmers and my security people are even more aware. So I have to be aware of the information security. You see how everybody's being hacked all the time, and they're spending millions on this. And a lot of people don't even know they're hacked. So I'll invite a number of, as a matter of fact, former students of mine that are in this area of information security. A lot of these poor businesses have done really poorly, like, you know, maybe bars and restaurants, but you know who's done really well in this pandemic are all those people dealing with information security. Because everybody now is at home. Everybody's not even as secure as they can be, and they're having it. And then we'll talk about frameworks. We'll talk about the internet, of course, cloud. Already we've talked about what the cloud is. We'll talk about mobile, web. We'll talk about forecasting using data analysis. We'll talk about business intelligence. big data, of course, and then we'll do a number of projects. We'll do a project on automated trading systems I'll show you, and we'll do also we'll do a business plan, and we'll do advanced prototyping. Kate really did a great job on her websites, and also Ripley and Juliana and Avner in the past. So we'll do some websites. We'll create some mobile app prototypes, and that's it. So here's some course policies. You can read that on your own. In this course, I'm going to be recording. They talk about recording. I'm going to be recording in this course. This is different from other courses, maybe. You need to have your computer. Of course, we're on Zoom anyways, but even besides your phone, we're able to do that. That we'll be able to, let me just do this for a second. Let me see here. Avner, you want to do me a favor? Avner, set up a poll. Do you have access to do a poll?
No, only the host can set up a poll, but co-host can launch a poll.
Oh, okay. So let me add a question here. That's good to know. They should change that, don't you think? So, that's interesting. So I want to, let's see if it will work. So do you see my screen?
Yes.
So what I want to ask is, do you have access to a Windows operating system using Windows OS computer? And our title, Windows. Let's see here. And let's save it. Okay, answer single choice, yes. No. Okay, so if I saved it, you can then, I've saved that, so what can you do?
So I can pull it up here and click launch poll at the bottom of my screen.
Okay.
Should I launch it?
I'll launch it. Let's see here. Does everybody see this? You see that one? Yeah, okay. So what I want to do is I want to see, because we're going to be using our platform for automated trading systems is run on Windows. So I just wanted to see, you can see here how many people have access to a Windows computer so they can download automatically, they can download it to their desktop. Others will be hooking into it remotely. Okay, so what do we got? So we have about, we got more than, great. So we have 10 students. So that'll be good, right? That'll be good then. You see that? So we have 10 more than I anticipated. So that's great. 10 students. So 10 students can then download it to their computer. They can share with other students. Plus we can do it remotely, go into the labs. So 30 have it. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's good to know. So we'll end the poll. Okay, and share the results. Relaunch it. We don't need to do it. Okay, perfect. Attendance and participation. You see already, this is how my class is going to be. I'll call on people randomly. You also can raise your hand. You also can chat, and then you can answer the questions as well. So participation is crucial in my class. This is not a class for you to sleep in. So this will be arriving late. I would like everybody to be on time. Some things, issues happen. I know what it is, but I expect people to arrive on time. Grade band policy. It's part of, I guess, the School of Business. Peer reviews, we'll be learning how to review each other. Talk about exam rescheduling. If you have some issues ahead of time about the exams, you need to let me know. If you don't need, if it's not an excused absence, you get a 0 on the exam. This is about exam policies. You can read this on your own. Of course, general behavior, I expect us to be respectful from each other. And I think if we are, then we'll have a great time. If you have any issues with disabilities, you need extra time for your exams. What I do in my class, since we have a 3-hour schedule, the exam will not be 3 hours. So if you need extra time, let me know ahead of time, but we'll be taking all the exams together. Class recordings, I told you I'm going to be recording our classes. These are some of the tools we'll be using, of course, mobile, web, social media. We'll be using automated trading systems, artificial intelligence, basically having the computer start learning, deep learning. And this is how the grade is broken down. There are going to be 2 exams. There's one going to be in the midterm and one's going to be the last day, the time that the exams are done. I don't know if the exam schedule is out now. You guys can search and tell me when the exam is. It's somewhere between May 5th and the 12th. We'll be spending a lot of time on group projects because I think that's the most fun. The exams will be 2 parts. One part will be like the concepts, like what I said before about enterprise resource planning or IoTs. But the second part of the exam will be almost like project-like and answering some questions. I'll go over the second part with you. It'll be open-ended. We'll spend more time on the group projects. We'll do a lot of assignments. Every week we'll have an assignment. We'll either do it in the group, but I'll usually in the group, even if we do in the group, each person needs to do their work, and participation and attendance will be there. And here you have what we'll cover. Tonight we're going to do some team exercises together. Every week there'll be a quiz. I'll show you about the quiz. And then we'll do collaboration tools. We'll do the Fintech. You see that, the data analytics, information and security. We'll go over the blockchain, databases, Bitcoin. And we'll do an exam, cloud computing, AI, and what else? Some more automated trading systems. And at the last week of class, we'll be presenting our group presentations, our projects. And along the way, I'll be reviewing everybody's projects. So it won't be just that week. Once we start our projects, I'll be working with each of the groups. And check. And then later on next week, you can even tell me when the second exam is for this section, but it's somewhere between May 5th and 12th. In the beginning, there wasn't there. Okay, questions? We're good? Avner, did you check the, and Kate, did you check the chat if there's any questions?
Yeah, I don't see anything in there.
Okay, perfect.
If anybody has a question, please feel free to ask in the chat.
Okay, perfect. So they'll ask in the chat. So we finished that, the spring thing. Now what we need to do is a couple of things here. So you got my screen here. Now what I want is, everybody was asking me a couple of things here. We need to figure out, we've done then the syllabus. The next thing is we need to do Wiley Plus. In Wiley Plus, when you go, I think, isn't this, Kate, what you need to do? You have to go to your Wiley Plus and welcome. Let me even do this first in the syllabus. First day of Blackboard. You should have received this, which
Yeah,
talks
go through here.
about Wiley Plus, right? Where you register from your Blackboard session. You have to click on a chapter folder and then select then the Wiley Plus link. And in this link then, right, in that link then, you then sign up. And in the beginning, once you sign up and you get that link, you create their account. Is that true, Kate? You get how do you get the link? Kate?
The link for what?
For
to how to create it?
Yeah. It says,
I think you linked it in something else on Blackboard.
Right. And then you can link it. They give you, in the beginning, they give you 14 days where you can register for a 14-day free trial. So some of you may want to do that. Enter, in this case, what you need is to purchase then the Wiley Plus your ebook. Or you can do Wiley Plus and then you can do print the rental of the text. But you need to get the Wiley Plus. I suggest you do it some way digital, but you need the Wiley Plus because for homework, once you do welcome to your Wiley Plus, getting started with Wiley Plus, looking for how to succeed, here you can just click on that to get your code. And then in Wiley Plus, you'll start with the first chapter. So for next week, assignment, after you get your Wiley Plus, you need to do chapter 1. You open up chapter 1 in Wiley Plus, and this is all the links about why you should. This is basically the first chapter. Read the first chapter. This goes through the first chapter. It breaks it up to, the first chapters of everybody's book is kind of like generic, on computer based. And then what I'd like you to do for every chapter of the book I assign, do the adaptive practice. And the adaptive practice, once you get to the adaptive practice, I have a little bit different. I get a dashboard that tells me students visited, how many questions you attempted, and more activity. On this student activity, and what I've stated before is I can view this as a student. I can have the view as a student. And you can see here that it's a fun place to learn. One of the things that you want to, if you can begin and learn how to get started, and then it'll give you on how to practice, and it'll show me and show you how proficient you were. And it'll show each time, and then I can view it as an instructor. So I'd like you to do, especially emphasize doing those adaptive practices for each chapter. And how I'm grading it is I want you to do it. And if you're in between grades, the better you do on the adaptive practices. Let's say you're between a B plus and an A minus, or a B and an A, this will count. It also helps you with the quizzes, and it also helps you with the tests. So that's Wiley Plus. The next part is course documents. Under course documents, you'll see that first day with the information systems. And if you need the PowerPoints for each chapter, you see the PowerPoints. Now, in terms of lectures, I'm just going to lecture. You guys can read. I'm just going to lecture on those parts which I find is difficult. So I expect then everyone to have read the chapter. What I expect then, for instance, Sierra, is when you don't understand something that you'll bring it up. But those parts that was easy that you understand, it's a waste of your time for me to review things that are so simple that you can read. But things that are difficult, that's what I'm here for. So that's course documents.
We have a question if the quizzes are counted toward the final grade.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So in assignments, this is where you are required. All your assignments here are required. So for next week, quiz from chapter 1 is required that you do online. You do the quizzes and the quizzes and assignments are right here in assignments. Emily, you said what category do they fall under?
This is in reference to the quizzes.
What do you mean, what category?
Like what category within the grading do
Oh, it's quizzes, I'd say under.
Oh, I'm sorry. Must have gotten confused.
That's all right. It's a lot, especially the first day, like what's going on? So here, quiz chapter 1. Emily, stay with me. I'm going to edit the test. I don't want to edit the test. I'm going to go back to assignments, quiz. I want to edit the test options. And I have the role of instructor here, Emily. You with me? So I'm in the back end here. It says quiz from chapter 1. I'm going to show the test description. I'm going to open the test in the new window. And I want to make it available to the students, Emily. So what do you think I should click on here? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. And I want to add a new announcement for this test. What should I click? Yes. Right? And for the quiz, Emily, and this is for everyone, I'm going to allow 2 attempts. The quizzes are open book. You can look on the internet, you can Google it, you can open it up in your book. My main purpose for the quizzes is that you understand the concepts. I don't care how long it takes you to take a quiz. You can take it in 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or a half hour. I'm going to give you 2 attempts, and the last grade you attempt will be the one that's going to be in your grade book. I'm not going to set a timer for your quizzes. For the test, when I give you the midterm and I give you the second test, I'll have a timer. But for quizzes, this is kind of like for yourself. And I'll not going to make it password. And it's due next week. What date is next week? Can you believe it? It's February already. We were just in January and it's February. So we're going to be February 1st and it's going to be due at 7:30. So then you're not too tight, but it's right before class.
So the other thing we have due next class is the quiz, correct?
Well, I'll go over it. We have a couple of things, but that's one thing. Who was asking me that?
John.
John, okay. That's one thing. We have a lot of things to do because we only meet once a week. And this is going to be included in your grade center store classifications. So one thing here Let's see here. All answers submitted show incorrect questions all at once. Submit. So that's one thing we have. So John, we have the quiz chapter 1 that you need to do. And you need to do also, John, for next week, under Wiley Plus. Let me change this. Let me rename this to quizzes and assignments. So that's clear. Don't you think so, Avner?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to put quizzes and assignments. And then Wiley Plus, John, for next week, you need to do chapter 1 as well.
Okay.
And in Wiley Plus, what's going to be important is to do the adaptive practice. So for next week, we need to do quiz 1 and under Wiley Plus, adaptive chapter 1, right? Chapter 1, adaptive practice. Thank you, Catherine. So, I know people are anxious about it. What are the tests like? So the tests are divided in 2 parts. One part is like the quizzes and the adaptive practice, which is multiple choice. And the other part is open-ended. And I go over the open-ended and it'll be more on our discussions in class. So there'll be 2 parts. And there's no surprises on the open-ended. I'll discuss what type of questions will be before in our reviews or what types of questions. So for instance, we're talking about, for instance, cloud computing. It could be what are the benefits and what are the benefits of cloud computing, and talk about some examples. I'll give you some readings and things like that we'll talk about. We'll talk about IoT security, some things like that. Okay, so we got that part. And then I have, in this case, also I have web links. In my web links, just so you see here, is I have the book as well, and I have how to join Zoom meetings, Zoom tutorials, and we'll talk about it. Okay. Now, what I want to do is have everyone be familiar with Zoom. So if you go to quizzes and assignments, I'm going to give you for next week, I'm going to give you a Zoom group individual exercise, which your objective is to create a Zoom meeting, invite your other team members, create a co-host, record the meeting in the cloud, record it on premise, share your screen, know how to do remote support, and uplink your recording that you do in the cloud into what I call your audit area with your full name in your folder called Zoom collaboration. So how are you going to do this, and what is the audit area? So if I go to courses.miami.edu, Roxanne, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Good?
Yep.
You're a little bit overwhelmed or no?
Just tired.
I know, we're all tired, but maybe don't mind if you want to stand up and stretch or something. So what we want to do is, if you go to courses.miami.edu, you see something where you're a teaching assistant. What does it say there besides where you're a student? Do you find something? Marley, did you see something? Did you go to Marley, go to courses.miami.edu. Open up another tab, Marley.
Okay.
I don't hear you. Unmic yourself. Unmute.
Okay, sorry, my headphones weren't connecting.
Yeah.
I'll do that, but I accidentally joined there instead of joining our class Blackboard.
Okay, so what does it say?
It says like all the course documents and things like that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but what does it say before you even enter it?
That the audit? I'm sorry, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, the audit, right. There should be what's the title? Mine says courses where you're an instructor. What does yours say in order to get that audit section?
Give me 1 second. It just says audit. It doesn't say.
Does it say not courses you're teaching or something? It just is under all your courses?
It's different. It's at the bottom and it has an edit mode. It doesn't say something different that I'm seeing, but.
Okay, what does it say? John, did you try it? Go to just courses at the very main page where it lists all your courses that you're taking.
Mm-hmm. It should be like separate from the other.
Right, it's separated. Is yours, Cindy?
Yeah, I found it. I think it's
what is it titled as?
Not courses. Assistant?
Teaching assistant. Everybody find that. It says courses where you're a teaching assistant. Right now, you have the role as what, Cindy? As a student, or in this, right up to now, you were a student, right?
I'm not sure. I'm actually confused about that because I have two different ones. So I have one that's audit, and that's under like the teaching assistant.
Exactly.
Section, and then another one.
Right. Up to now, we were talking about what? The ones that you're a student in, right? Where you get all your assignments, you do your quizzes. So for next week, you have to do a quiz in chapter 1. You have to do the Wiley practice session, right? But I'm giving you another chance in this class to have another role, and your role is that you'll have more capabilities to upload and put your work up there. And in this learning management system called Blackboard, I'm making you a teaching assistant. But I don't want you to be a teaching assistant in my section where I give out grades. Why, Cindy?
Because I guess we're not really teaching, we're just students.
Right. And you're what? You remember we talk about security? I don't want you to change your grade and change other students' grade. Maybe you'll change another student's grade that you don't like. Give them less, right? And give yourself, right? I always have, the slackers always give themselves A's, you know? It's funny, the best students are always more critical even what they do, right? The slackers say, oh, I did a wonderful job. So I'm going to give you an opportunity. Everybody in my class is going to have a section called the audit, meaning they're going to audit their work, audit each other's work, be like auditors. So I have a section called everybody look, you'll have a section called BTE 210 KL1 audit. That means you have the role of a teaching assistant, and you have as much of a high role. You have all the capabilities that I have as an instructor, but only in this section. Do you understand that, Cindy? So you'll be able to do a number of things that you're not able to do in the student section. And when you're going to be doing your group work, you're going to be using this section. When I ask you, upload it to the audit area, where are you going to go? You're going to go to this section, Cindy. When you're going to be looking on doing a quiz or getting a PowerPoint, you're going to be looking as a student. But when you've been working on your project, you're going to be going to the audit area to do the project. When I give you a homework assignment and a group homework assignment, many times I'll say, upload it to your group. Making sense? So you're going to be learning new capabilities. You'll be learning Blackboard as a teaching assistant, or almost as full rights as a role. So click on that audit section. Everybody click on it, and let's see if it works. Now you see here, let's go to the left. We don't have a syllabus, right? We don't have faculty. We're not going to do it, but we have something called assignments. Later on, we can change this to make them other types of ways. But right now, we're going to go to groups. And notice there's a group 0A, which is basically your teaching assistants. And then we also need to add, I guess, Juliana here as well.
Yeah, I'll add that right now.
Yeah, so we can do it. And you can see here, we can edit it here. We have the lead, and then Catherine and I take out helping, but just teaching assistant, right? And Ripley teaching assistant. We're not helping the teaching assistant. We're teaching assistants here. And then what we want to do later on is you want to set up a group. You can't do it right now, but just watch me. I want to set up a group under content folder. And I'm going to call myself group 0. And then I'm going to put my name. My email. And my phone number. And I'm going to submit. And then I'm going to go inside and make another folder called Zoom Collaboration. And that first assignment, you remember that first assignment that I told you I want to do, where I want you to submit your recording? I want you to do it in Zoom. So in order for us to do this, I need to go to breakout rooms, and I have, let's do 10 breakout rooms. And I'm going to assign those automatically. And let's see if I create it. Find yourself you know, here in group 10, Charlotte, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me move you because this one in group 10 doesn't make any sense. Let me move you to group 9, okay?
Okay.
So we can have it because this group 10 are my teaching assistants, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up all your rooms. And what I want you to do is 2 things. I want you to first create a folder with your group. Give your group a number like group 9, where I have here, Charlotte, I put you with Andrew, Charlotte, Daniel, Emily, and Sarah. Make yourself a group in the audit area. Put all your names in there. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to do the Zoom assignment. And I and my teaching assistants will go to your breakout rooms and help you with your assignment. And work through, in the beginning, work through the assignment as you're as a participant and record your session. And then what I'd like you to do for homework is work with your group and go to zoom.miami.edu and be the host of your Zoom and record it one time in the cloud and one time on your computer. And then we'll meet next week and we'll go over the assignment, and I'll give you another assignments that you'll do. So before I open up the rooms, any questions? So let's go over what's the homework. The homework is to get the book with the Wiley Plus. Number 2, do the quiz under assignments. And that is due right before the end of the class. And also the Wiley Plus, the practice, the adaptive practice in chapter 1. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to spend, let's say, a half hour doing the assignment. I'll go to each of your groups plus my illustrious teaching assistants will help each of the groups in their assignments. I'd like you to do it first locally and then figure out how to do all the steps which I asked you to do. I have a PowerPoint in that assignment.
Do we have permissions to record to the cloud in a breakout room?
No, but I think you may be able, we'll see if we're able to record to the computer.
Okay.
Do we just like explain what they have to do and then let them do it like on their own time? Like that's what my class did.
Which is
like we should just answer the questions and then like answer the questions and then they'll submit it and like meet as a group on their own time.
Right. But I first want them to meet and put up I want them to start, first of all, the audit. Everybody complete the audit section first, because we need to make sure that that's done correctly. And then start looking at some of the Zoom and introduce themselves to their group, right? That you have everybody in your group. And then start doing the Zoom internally and then set up a time, the group set up a time where they can meet again and finish up the assignment.
Okay, perfect.
So we got that? Does that help? Thank you so much, Kate. Extra credit.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? And then if you have additional questions, I'll be going through room to room, and also my illustrious assistants will help me as well. Okay, perfect. And then what I'll do is after I find everybody, I'll go back to the main Zoom room. And if you have additional questions, exit out of your Zoom room, your breakout rooms, and you can ask me any questions that you have. Or do you want to do this, Kate? You think it'd be better like to do 20 minutes on this and come back and answer some questions? Everybody come back.
Yeah, I just feel like when I did it with my group, we were like silent for the full time.
Okay, so let's do this. Oh, because other people weren't. Let's do this. Let's take 20 minutes to do the assignment. Get number one, get in the audit area, make sure you do away. Then figure out how to incorporate doing Zoom, and we'll meet back here. Now it's 9:20. We'll meet back at 9:40 to the main room. I'll look at everybody's audit area, and then we'll formally close class. And then I'll stay for questions, and I'll spend time with anybody. If you just have issues about your schedule, or you want to talk to me about the class, or want to be a leader in the groups, or anything else that you want to discuss or have special issues, we'll do that.
You just want the groups to put their info in the audit area?
I want them to do two things. I want them to put it in the audit area. First of all, I want them to introduce themselves to each other, put all their information in the audit area, and then I want them to begin trying to figure out Zoom about, sharing their screen, have each of them share their screens, and they can share their screens in the breakout rooms, share their screens, basically try to do one-on-one, the list of assignments that I asked, the tasks. We'll mess around with Zoom for, we'll do 20 minutes, and I'll call out the breakout room. We may even make it shorter.
But we're not recording the sessions ourselves.
Try to, I don't think you can record in breakout rooms. You'll have to do it in the regular Zoom.
Yeah, you can't because they're not a host.
Right.
So then we're gonna meet outside of class time and record it.
And finish up the assignment, right? So if I go back to the assignment here, right? If I look at it, yeah, you'll meet outside of class, you'll decide when you want to do it, or you may decide want to do it right now and finish it up. I don't know if you're not too tired. You can even say, hey, let's finish up the assignment now. Take a break for 5 minutes or something and meet now. I don't care when you meet. We're not micromanaging here.
When is it due?
It's due right before class.
Oh, right before class. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
7:30. It's due at 7:30, and you'll put your link and all your assignments. You'll put it right in your audit area. So everything, when I give out an assignment, it's due at 7:30 the next week. So it's perfect to remember. But I suggest we don't wait till the next week. And also quizzes are due at 7:30. So sometimes people try to do the quizzes at the last minute. And the problem is, I don't have internet access. It crashed. This happened. So I suggest you give yourself time. You'll submit it as a group, but each person will be involved in the recording. You'll record it. I want you to record to the cloud so you'll get a transcript. So the beauty here is, we'll talk about it later, is when you do your Zoom meetings, when you do it in the cloud, you'll get a transcript and it'll show what each person said in the group. So when the group is not active, if one person doesn't say or doesn't come, it will show in the group, but submit it as a group assignment. But each person should be doing each of the activities. Great. Any other questions? We can answer more of these questions in the breakout rooms. Perfect. So let's try to do, we've already taken 5 minutes. Let's try to come back at 9:40. So I'm going to open up all the rooms and we'll start doing your group folders, and then we'll be helping each of you. So I'm going to open up all the rooms. And Victoria, you need to join a room too. Perfect.
A professor? Dr. Rush? Oh, this is her second one. This isn't like her real one, isn't it? I just realized that.
I felt so awkward. I was like, so any questions? I'm like, nope. And I was like,
I don't know if you guys, wait, did you take health informatics or?
Yeah.
Okay. So for, I remember for ours, she wanted us to like record like the same thing that they were doing, like record like the Zoom thing, like tutorials and whatnot. And I basically gave them like the software that I used to record with because, you know, like they're going to figure it out eventually.
I forgot to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I didn't want them to struggle because like for me, I struggled.
We struggled a lot. My group also struggled a lot.
Yeah, no, because like I recorded on Zoom and then I was like, nothing's showing up, you know, because like Zoom's not going to show like.
I forgot.
So I just like low key.
I hope another TA set told them.
They'll
I just completely blinked out on that. Oh no.
I mean, you can always jump back in.
Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna go back and be like, hey, by the way. Like, no. Oh God. Whatever. It's been so long since we've done that, I feel like. So whatever. Oh. I honestly feel like that was like the worst assignment that we had, honestly.
Yeah, no, I struggle with that so much.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of myself when I finally figured it out. And I was like, I even like emailed her and she's like, yeah, you got it finally.
Yeah. I feel that.
Oh, so were we supposed to make an item?
So in your groups, did you guys make a folder, like a content folder with like your names and emails and contact, all that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, yeah. So that's all you're supposed to do for now. And then in the week, whenever you guys are doing like your Zoom tutorials, whenever you record that, it's gonna go in that folder. You know, so that way, like as a class, next meeting time, you guys can look on it, like click on it, and then you guys can look and see if that makes any sense. Does that help?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of? Okay. Tell me if I need to like explain anything better.
Like, do we each put our own recordings or in our own folder or one per like?
Yeah, so you guys have one folder as a group, but you guys can split things up. So let's say like Amelia is going to show you how to like make a co-host on Zoom. You would record yourself and you put that in like the folder. And let's say like Zoe, I don't know if you guys are in the same group, whatever. Zoe would record something and say like, oh, I'm going to show you guys how to annotate on there, but you guys are going to put it underneath the same folder, but it's just different videos. Does that make sense?
It also could be just one Zoom recording.
Yeah, if you guys want to do it that way too, yeah.
And do we all have to be in each other's Zoom meetings?
So you're going to have one person who's going to take upon themselves to host the meeting, and they're going to be the one recording to the cloud. And everybody else is just going to participate, and they're going to, you know, share their screens and play around with Zoom to get familiar with it. But only the person who recorded is going to be the one to, you know, submit the link. They're going to get the link in their email.
Okay.
Also, I think an important note is that a lot of times when there's a link to a Zoom recording, there's also a password that comes with it. So make sure to include that password so that Dr. Rush and us can, you know, see the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Specific functions that you need to do, or is it just mess around with the functionality of the Zoom interface?
I mean, definitely try to hit on like the points of like sharing your screen and making someone else the co-host while sharing your screen to show those features. Like different functionality features of Zoom or kind of points my group try to feature, but there's no specific questions that you need to answer.
Okay, how we doing? Everybody? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Good, good, good. Everybody's back. Questions? So I guess we are seeing everybody back. We lost a few along the road. We wore them out, but the strong stay fittest and the fittest stay strong, right? So let me make sure I close all my breakout, right? My breakout rooms. Let me close all the rooms. Okay. So, questions. My teaching assistants, do you have some questions that you saw or some things that need to be done?
No, I just had most of them share their screen so I can like walk them through the audit and how to build stuff. And everyone seemed to understand what the task was.
Okay, they understand now?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's why we need to do it almost in groups, you know, Catherine?
Professor, can you clarify exactly what you want to see the students do on the recording when they're recording?
Yeah, I listed it on the assignment, but what I want to do is I think it'd be good even for them to do 2 recordings. One recording, that's the major one, where they record to the cloud. And they get their transcript. And when they're recording in the cloud, that they're able to go through all the features of Zoom. For instance, everybody understands how to share, and I listed that in the assignment. Everybody shares the screen, doing one-on-one, being able to look at the chat sessions. And the other one to record, do another session in zoom.miami.edu and record to their computer and see the difference. What's the difference between recording to the cloud and recording to their computer? Because if you have, and also to realize we have a professional version by being members of the University of Miami community. So we have the professional version, the paid version, that we can record to the cloud. If you get the free version of Zoom, you can't record to the cloud. So just to get familiar and to put the link, and for the homework assignment is to put their link there. Another thing that you may want to do, class, is when you go to zoom.miami.edu, you can go to your settings, and in the settings, you can add additional features. For instance, you can make it that you don't need a passcode to get in, or when you record, you don't need to have it as password protected. You know, you can do it just to feel comfortable that you know Zoom not only as just a participant, but you know Zoom as to create your own meetings. That's my goal, the first goal. And then to be familiar with the audit area, uploading to the audit area. And then just so you know, next week, what we'll do some screencasting software. So they'll be able to see what's the difference between screencasting and recording on Zoom. And sometimes you can do a combination, you know, of the two. What else? And then do the homework assignments, you know, every week, you know that you'll do the Wiley Plus.
The adaptive practice.
And then every week, I'll put up another quiz from the next chapter. So after chapter 1, we'll go to Tech Guide 1. And we'll go through it. And then I'll answer questions. And that'll be like our class. What I'll try to do is in the beginning, answer any of your questions. I'll lecture a bit to you on what I think is important from the chapters and other assignments. And then we'll break out into groups. And my goal here is for you to be as active as possible. You know, when you get into the projects, that's what my goal is. And stay with me if you have additional ideas that you want to pursue that I can help you with. And we can even later on in your projects, focus in on those. And people were asking me, do they have to, is this their group till the end of the semester? And it depends. You know, it'll depend on what other projects will do. But for the next couple of weeks, we'll try to keep it with these groups. And then maybe later on, we'll make some adjustments based on some of the projects we do. Anything else? Right, so I'm going, if I don't have any other questions, I'm going to stay here in the Zoom, spend some time with all of you, any questions that you have. Otherwise, you can reach out to the teaching assistants, you can reach out to me, and then we'll start. I'll be a little bit earlier. Every time I'll probably start, I'll be online like at 7:20 or so, just setting up. You can join me, and we'll start right on time at 7:40. And you basically kind of see what you see what the class is like. If you like this type of way, I look forward for you to join me. If this is not for you, that's okay too. You have other choices, and I wish you the best. Okay?
Professor, I'm going to stay with you after class and give you some of the names for attendance that did not work.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So, whenever you're ready, I guess people can ask questions if they need to first.
Okay, great. Anything else? Otherwise, I'll see you next week. And take care. Be safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Professor. Thank you, Professor.
And looking forward to the
Thank you.
semester with you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Professor.
you.
I know I'll have a good time. Hopefully you will too.
I have a question, Professor.
Sure.
So before this class, I just knew that a lot of my friends were saying they were purchasing their textbooks already, like on like the Miami bookstore, and I already bought the book for this class.
Which was what?
Huh?
What was the book? Was it the same book we're using or what?
It's the same book we're using, but I'm not sure if it has like the Wiley. I'm not sure if you want like to.
No, you're gonna have to check on how to get the Wiley Plus.
I'm gonna have to what?
Check how to get the Wiley Plus. Did you physically buy it as a hard copy
Yes.
from the physical bookstore?
I haven't bought it yet. It's shipping to it soon.
Where did you get it from?
I ordered it online, like through the Miami bookstore. I already paid for it and everything. It's gonna ship to the store soon. We'll pick it up.
Okay, so just check to see if it comes with Wiley Plus. And if not, you're gonna have to check how you get the additional Wiley Plus part. Because that's the part online where you do all the quizzes.
Would I have to potentially just pay for another like book, do you think?
I don't know how I don't know how they set that up.
Mm-hmm.
The other idea is that
if you just go to the Wiley Plus section, like literally right now, and you can click on one of the chapters, if it doesn't say adaptive practice and have like the links to things, then that means that you do have to do extra steps to get the Wiley Plus. I mean,
but he hasn't had the book yet.
Right, but like but maybe they do something online when you purchase it, because he purchased it online. But maybe his book has like the Wiley code, like, it gives you like the 4-digit. Yeah. So maybe he should wait.
Yeah, wait till you get it. Wait till you get, and there should be, or you can contact them. You got it through the University of Miami bookstore.
Yeah.
So maybe check with them if there's a way and say you need the Wiley Plus part too. And did you purchase it? So we'll get it worked out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just not trying to spend all that money again on another.
Yeah, I don't either. Because you can be, I don't know, or the other worst comes, maybe you can return it or something, say, hey, this was not part of, there was a mistake or something.
Oh yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Say,
Yeah.
hey, I need the Wiley Plus, because online there was also that you could rent it as well, wasn't it? That you could rent the book.
I think so. I'm not
I
sure.
would take it.
I think I did it like last
Well,
week.
personally, I would. You know, these guys know that I'm frugal, so I always go the cheapest way. Because when are you going to use that book again, other than this class? You know, it's going to be outdated in a couple of years. It's not like, the biggest, the Bible or something. I want to, the First Testament or something that I want to keep. Or the second.
I would just wait, and then you can like shoot me a text or an email, and then we can like figure out how to get Wiley if it's not included.
Yeah, we have to be kind and help each other. That's my way. We'll get it done. You know what I mean, Bryce? We'll get it.
All right. Thank you.
And the worst case is, and at least you can start doing it. And I know they even have like a 14-day trial.
Like a grace period?
Yeah, no, they have a 14-day trial that you can sign up for just 14 days.
Okay.
So the worst comes to worst, what you could even do now while you wait for it, sign up for 14-day trial.
Okay. And
then it's free, and it's 14 days, and then you can figure out in 14 days how you're going to work around it, and then you always can tell the bookstore, listen, I needed the Wiley Plus part. Maybe it is, I don't know. Okay, we'll work it out. But
all right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Got some help.
Yep. See you later.
Great. Emily, what's up?
I just wanted to make sure that I got recorded for attendance for today because I couldn't get
okay. And Wilson, what do you have?
Thank you.
I just want to be sure, like, about the Zoom activity. We need to have we need to record for a time limit, like 2 minutes, something like that, or
you have to record for as amount of time that you can. How long it takes you to go over all the features.
Okay.
So I'd say like 10 minutes or something like that. You don't have to be too long, that everybody gets a chance on it.
It needs to be one-on-one. It needs to be with all my group or just?
With all your group.
Okay, with all the group.
Not by yourself. The whole idea with the Zoom meeting is that it's a meeting.
Of course.
So you can use it for yourself, if you need to record something and you can record your screen. But we're doing it as a meeting. Okay. So I need to check on there, and then what about Daniel? You have a question?
No, you asked me to stay. You wanted to ask me a couple questions about what I do.
Oh, okay, good. So I'll wait. Let me fix the attendance and we'll talk. Okay, Daniel.
Yeah.
And then
go ahead, take your time.
Okay, and then I need to do this. So what do I need to do? So let me.
Thank you so much.
And then
my pleasure.
Attendance, Professor, I have 2 names as well, just to clarify.
Okay, so let me just go into the audit. So let me go to the regular section. And let me go to attendance.
All right, Professor, I'm going to go. I think it's
thank you very much. We'll talk later and I'll figure out from you. Are you coming on Wednesday or no?
Yes, I figured it out.
We'll talk. Contact me, send me an email, and we'll figure out. I'm curious to see how everything worked out.
Yeah, okay, I will.
Okay, so send me an email. You can whenever you get a chance, and what happened.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm there behind you. Got your back. Okay. I appreciate it. Right. So what do I need to do? Here I need to check my attendance record. And who do I need to check then, Riley?
So the 2 names that I have are Noah Ellis, Ellis. And then the second one is Rena.
Elise with the E?
Yes, yeah. Ellis.
Do you see their name? Am I sharing my screen?
No, you're not sharing right now.
Right, so good idea, huh? Let me see it. I'm sharing now, right?
Yes, I can see now. I don't see their name on your list, actually.
So maybe that's why.
And then I do have another name as well. Let me see. It is Rena Palumbo, Palumbo.
Okay. So they were present. Okay.
And then I can just email you the other name, the one that's not on your list.
Which is what?
Noah Ellis, Ellis. Or if you just want to write it down now.
You know what? Have them they're part of the class? Are they in the, you know which group they were in?
I don't. This was just in the chat. I wrote down the names of the people who said in the chat that it
Okay,
didn't work
so
for
do
them.
me a favor. Go to the audit area.
Okay.
And find that person's name in the audit area and just send them an email. I have Noah Saffron. I don't see any.
Yeah, I didn't see their name either on your list.
So maybe they weren't in part of Blackboard. So just tell them to come to class. Here's a Noah LAP AIX, no?
The last name that I have is ELLIS.
I haven't known. Just tell them to come to class next week.
And you'll fix it.
Make sure that they're registered and tell them to come to class, and then we can figure it out at the end of next class.
Okay.
Not a big deal. You know what I mean? That we couldn't find their name on the list. Okay.
So that's all I had. I'm gonna head out now if that's okay.
Okay. And are you coming on Wednesday?
Yes, I will be here on Wednesday, same time.
Perfect. I do appreciate all your work, Ripley.
No worries.
And then maybe later on you can take the class. You know.
Yeah.
If you can fit it in this semester.
I have 6 classes right now, so I have 7.
Okay. So anyways, so at least you have the beginning, and also nobody's going to take away what you learn. So even if you don't take it for credit, you'll be learning a lot of new technology. That's the main thing. Right. And look how much you gained from last semester.
Oh yeah, compared to what I knew before that, I learned a lot.
And look, and you're helping other students now.
Right.
And that helps you also. Once you start teaching other students, you get better. Okay. And Avner, how we doing?
Hi guys.
Bye. I'll see you. And Avner, everything okay? I need anything else from you? Any comments?
Hey, do you need anything from me? I think.
No, I thought it was the greatest idea that we had everybody go into the helping, and you got the teaching assistant, that all the burden wasn't on you.
Yes, it was. I'm actually really interested to hear what Daniel Braun does. So
okay, great. I was going to say I didn't want to hold you. So Daniel, you mind Avner being here too?
No, of course you can stay.
Okay,
It's not a problem.
all right. So tell us what you're doing.
So first, I'm involved with actually a good amount of companies, but what I started telling you about was the media company that I'm involved in. I own. What we do is it's basically a full suite media where we target not only like the low end but also the high end. So right now we have like a package we're running for real estate agents, so we're targeting a bunch of real estate agents, and so that's like a lower end package.
So real estate agents are your target audience?
That's current on the low end. On the high end, we do a lot of celebrity partnerships with brands. We do a lot of campaigns for celebrities. We work, I don't know if
and who is we?
Jake Paul.
And who is
me?
we?
I have
you
a team
behind
me. I have 4 other partners, and we also have employees who work for us.
And 4 other partners, and what?
And in total, there's 28 people. There's 4 partners and 24 employees.
And you were one of the founding, or you started later on? Or? Oh,
no,
great.
No, I was.
And what is your back? Where are you from, Daniel?
I'm from New York. Well, my background is, so basically way back then, when I was 14, I started reselling sneakers back in high school. And like early on, I got kind of lucky, I guess, and I started selling to a lot of rappers. And so they'd post me, just a little kid, whatever, selling them sneakers. And I gained a good audience on social media. And so at that point, a lot of brands started approaching me, and they're like, post our stuff, we'll pay you, and I'm like, wow, like this could be a very lucrative business opportunity. And so when you become an influencer, like if you want to do it at scale to where like you're making millions of dollars, like it's really a full-time job, and you're working 14, 15-hour days.
Yeah,
and just like
it's not easy.
The money
it
can
doesn't come overnight. Yeah.
Exactly. But like, so like the money you're making on that and like the time put in didn't really make sense. So like I thought of it in a way to where, how can I, get my hand in 100 of them, their, pockets, as opposed to just, getting money for myself. And so one of the things we do is, manage these relationships between brands that we have and influencers. And then, obviously we make our broker fees and all that. On the other spectrum of that,
you find celebrities, you are influencers, and then you're the broker in between.
Yes.
And you take a certain percentage, or how do you How do you charge?
Yes. Yeah. We take certain percentage from both the company end and from the client end, but that's just like a small portion of what we do. Like, you know, on top of that, like, so like on top of that, like, you know, a lot of times like our company has grown just because like our clients come to us and they're like, can we do this? And we're like, sure. So like, we've done event curation in the past. The biggest event we're supposed to throw was supposed to be this summer, but you know, it got canceled. It's supposed to be a 15,000 person stadium in New York.
To do what? What was that supposed to be? 15,000?
Oh, it was supposed to be a festival.
Oh, a festival for music or what?
Yes, a music festival.
Oh,
so like it all ties in. So like on the kind of media side and on the media side of things, it all ties into where we also do a lot of press releases and stuff like that for these artists. You know, we get them placements with different playlists, stuff like that, and some internal management sort of. And then, so what we're doing now, which we're in the process of doing, is now that we've built out sort of all these pipelines, these media pipelines, you know, legal, HR, all this. What we're doing is we're becoming an early stage sort of VC incubator for these companies. And what we're able to do is, you know, using these resources we built out over the past few years, and you know, has been tried and tested with different companies on our like just who worked with us. We're able to take on companies and sort of fast track their growth and provide them with whatever legal HR they need. You know what I mean? And while, you know, at the same time mitigating almost all the risk, because all the money that they're spending, the companies we're investing into companies that are past the development stage and in the marketing stage mostly. And so we're able to have like that massive follow through to where almost all risk is mitigated because all these pipelines that we're utilizing are internal and like they've been tested and proven. So we have like this VC model that's very, 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 you know, risk averse.
Well, so what can you show me? You have anything online you can share your screen with?
Yeah, I can show you. I mean, you can just visit my website. It's
but show me.
Group.
So show me just a few minutes to show me your.
Yeah, sure.
You have to stop sharing your screen, Dr. Rush.
Okay.
Apart from that, like here, hold on. Share screens.
So where are you now, in New York?
No, I'm at the dorms, but yeah, I'm in the dorms in Miami. But honestly, I it's gonna probably end up being to where this might be my last semester, and I'm gonna take a gap year because it's very challenging to, you know, balance it all out. This is our website.
And what did you use for your who hosts you?
This it was thrown together on Squarespace. It was very simple.
Squarespace, okay.
Well.
Yeah. Well, we are good. Founded in 2020.
Some of the brands we work with. This is our promotional side. Content creation, you know, artist development, audience monetization. Oh, and this leads into the security services. I work with this Ukrainian company. I'm in charge of the United States expansion. It's called Lava International. It's a private private military company.
It's physical security we're talking about, not computer.
Yes. Oh, here,
So
well, I'll pull it up
for
for you.
events that I'll have like security guards and I'll have,
Yes.
Right.
I'll show you. I'll show you right now. Hold on.
You're a real entrepreneur, Daniel. And where are your parents from?
I mean, my parents, they're from my mom's from Ukraine and my dad's from Israel.
Oh, really?
This is our guys right here.
So it looks like it's really military or something we got here.
Yeah, it is. It's a private military. We just got ourselves approved by the defense.
What did your father do? What did your father do?
My dad?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I worked for my dad for 4 years. He owns an electrical company. So like I got a lot of experience from there too. Like I worked on a lot of pretty cool projects. Like I worked on a $30 million psychiatric center. This summer I was helping them out. We were doing the FBI building in the city.
So what he does the electrical?
Yes, it's purely electrical. So
your
like
father has
in LaGuardia.
Your father's an electrician too, or no?
Yeah, I mean he started off as an electrician and then he built his own company.
So he's an entrepreneur too. Okay. And what is your mom?
Yeah,
he met your mom in the United States or?
No, he met her in Ukraine. My mom's a nurse. I actually have a lot of medical people in my family. If I would have been a doctor, I would have been like third or fourth generation.
Okay, so it's interesting. You know, Avner's father has a synagogue. Where is it, Avner?
In Miami. It's a little more north of Coral Gables.
I'm looking for a synagogue. I was involved with the synagogue in Brooklyn. It's called Free of Brighton. I don't know if you're familiar.
I have heard of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, yes. I mean, the rabbi community is pretty connected. You know Rabbi Akanov by any chance?
No, not familiar.
No. Okay, I just wanted to do. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to figure out what we need to do here and how you can what you can gain from this class. You know what I mean, Daniel? You're different from the regular student, so I want it to be useful for you. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, well, a lot of the stuff we were discussing today, like the cloud computing, all of that, like I'm pretty familiar with that. And I mess with it on my own just because, like, just from owning a business, you know, a lot of like back end stuff I have to deal with just as a business owner. So like a lot of stuff, like I know because like I started to myself.
Hosting your website now, you just do Square for your.
Yeah, Squarespace. Yeah, Squarespace.
So what do you want to? So what do you want to gain from the class? Well, how can I help you?
I mean, I want to get a deeper understanding and more specifically like analytics. You know, data analytics. That's something that I've been trying to teach myself.
That'll be good for you.
Yeah. So like I'm actually like
exercises in data. And so have you done anything with? Have you done any investing? Like the stock market with Bitcoin and things.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
What have you done?
Oh, I mean, I have. I invested. The way I started investing when I was like 15, because I just started making, like as a kid, like at 15, I started making a lot of money from selling these sneakers. Like the margins are crazy, and my dad's like, "Don't spend it all, you know, invest it." And so he started putting in for me, and he gave me the login, whatever, it was like you know, like a parental account, whatever. And I started investing, and I started building my portfolio. And over coronavirus, I was day trading, which worked out fantastically. In regards to Bitcoin, I was in on it back in like 2 years ago when it went up to 20,000, and that's like when I made my money on it. My thoughts on it personally are, it's not really being used for what it's supposed to be used, but there's a certain like paths that it could take into where it could make a lot of money. Like
you can lose a lot of money too.
Yeah, like my look on it is like if funds start putting it into ETFs and it starts going into people's 401ks and there's a huge flood of money into it, then it could, you know, seriously, you know.
Have you done any programming, Daniel? You know any program at all?
No, I did a little bit of programming when I was way younger, when I was like 12. Like, well, this is honestly my first real business. I had a Minecraft server, and that's where I learned. Like, that's where I did my programming, and that's where I made my first ever money.
You were doing business in the womb, Daniel. Okay, maybe you can do. Maybe what you can do. Do you have access to a Windows machine? To Windows operating system?
I don't. I have one at home.
So, anyways. What we can do in terms of data analytics is maybe we can look at some strategies that.
Well, actually,
Daniel, do you know Russian?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I speak fluently.
Really great. Listen, I was asking Avner just yesterday. I met a Russian who is into setting up strategies. He lives in Canada. And what's funny is I needed a translator because his English is poor, but he does these beautiful indicators for day trading. And
I can do that easily.
So what I'd like to do is I'll invite you to a session. Do you have Telegram?
Yes.
Okay. I'll invite you, I'll introduce you to him, and I'll invite you, and we'll do a Zoom meeting. And I'll have him show, and then later on what'll be interesting is we'll do a meeting together. And Avner, you're welcome to join our meeting. And then I'll have him present to the class, but his English is really his understanding is poor, that maybe you can be the translator and we can see some of his work. I want him to do I have some algorithms, Daniel, that I want to have him improve upon. And he's doing some things, and he has such difficulty we have a difficulty in understanding. So this is perfect. So maybe with
I can definitely help you out.
we can do some you can learn some algorithms, and you don't even have to be a programmer, but you can look at the source code. I'll teach you how to do that. And then we can do that. That can even be your project. So it'll be something new that you're learning.
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic.
That sounds
It's actually funny that you mentioned.
It's funny how we all can, right, Avner, we all can be in a group and you never even think about it. But but it's interesting. So your father knows Russian too?
Yeah. I lived with, when I lived at home, I lived with my grandmother, and she only speaks Russian.
Okay,
and from first to 8th grade, I went to a Russian, so to speak, like a Soviet style, almost like middle school.
In the United States?
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, okay. So basically all the Russians in Brooklyn, yeah. Okay.
Exactly. But as I was saying, so with this defense company that I work with, they're based in Ukraine, and so I actually I work a lot with their programmers because they also develop military technologies. And I have to communicate with them in Russian all the time. So
okay, great, fantastic.
That's right up my alley.
Okay, perfect. So I'll set up. Send me also, Daniel. Send me your schedule. Kind of like one of your schedules, so I can set up. Maybe we can set up a Zoom meeting, and then I can have you meet him, and then I'll show you. I'll invite a couple of other people. Because I had someone else that I knew of, another Russian, but he just didn't, he's having some issues right now. So, but this is good. And since you've day traded, you know a little bit about buying and selling and shorting. So it's good.
Of course, yeah.
And how's your math?
My math, I mean, when it comes to money, it's good,
No, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about, have you taken it, how's your math, is that your weaker side?
Yes, math is my weaker side.
Okay, good. Okay. So we can just
know that. Side.
Okay. And if you're interested, Avner, you can join us. Otherwise we'll do it. Okay,
if I'm available, I definitely will join.
Okay, great. So Danielle, I'll send me an email with your group, and send me an email also of your so how do people find you? Just word of mouth, or how are you doing? You're using social media. How do people even know about you?
At this point, it's a lot of word of mouth, just a lot of going out and networking. Like in this industry, in the industry, especially where we make most of our money is in the high end stuff, dealing with celebrities and stuff, those margins are where we make the big money. There it's a very tight knit circle. So once you get in, you know what I mean, word gets around, and that's it. I don't like to do advertising. I think a lot of ways people market is very corny, and it doesn't.
But do you know? Are you doing a lot of social media on this, or no? You're just.
I mean, we run social medias for plenty of people in regards to our own social media.
Own company. So what is your bottleneck now for your company? What's your challenge?
I mean, right now I'm in the process of building the sales team, and my biggest problem, honestly, is just setting up in the hierarchy I have developed. So I have appointment setters who cold call and set appointments, and then I have sales managers who go in and go those consultations and close the clients. The problem is, first of all, these appointment setters, when they're doing it fully online, it's hard to keep them tracked. Keep track of them, make sure they're calling. That's a big issue. Also, a lot of them are. Yes, supervising them in a fully online environment is difficult.
And seeing what they're doing and keeping track.
Exactly. Yes.
So maybe we can look at. Maybe you can do some things of tracking software, finding software that can help you with that. That can be part of your project too. On the end, it's basically of growing your business. That's kind of going to be how you're going to scale up and how you're going to keep control.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems to be like an issue.
it's gonna be interesting to see how because just like we've seen, I saw a massive amount of growth in between like the end of November and now. So it's gonna be interesting to see to me how I handle like now school and work, because like now it's basically a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did you come
just
to
like
Miami?
today
Why did you come to the University of Miami?
for the network, to be in Miami for the network.
Okay, for networking of basically of your business.
Exactly. I mean, look.
And your parents have a place down here too, or no?
No, but I'm looking at buying one for myself right now.
Okay, great. So I think we got an idea. So I'll send me an email with your schedule, and then I'll set up a time that you can meet. His name is Nikolai. I'll have.
Okay, and what day? What day?
Too. What?
What day were you thinking?
Either maybe on Sunday. I don't know. I have to check out with him because I have to check with his schedule too.
All right.
How about Sunday? I don't know. I have to check with him. It may have to be if next Tuesday. I don't know. I have to check.
All right. If you'd like, I'm sure it'd be easier if we just coordinated over text. If you're comfortable.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We can do it in text, and I'll send me your email. And I'll send you my my text, and I'm also on WhatsApp and Telegram, so we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll set up a time, and then I'll introduce you also to Nikolai. And there's another
absolutely
Russian. You know, the Russians are really into these automated trading systems.
Yeah, I know.
And they're really smart, and you know, that could also be another business, Daniel,
yeah,
because they don't know English and they don't know how to market themselves to the worldwide community. So that could almost be a niche for you. I'm telling you that I've met a lot of them, you know, because I'm reaching out to help in terms of doing these algorithms, these automated trading systems. And they come out with these brilliant, you see this guy, he has such brilliant and so pretty. It's almost like art. He has these graphs that kind of basically move, you know.
One of my biggest like investors for deals we do, Silver Ring Capital, they do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that almost, you know, you're spread too thin too, so you don't want to go too wide. But I'm saying that's another opportunity there because, you know, of taking advantage of that of your Russian. But anyways,
I mean,
so.
All right.
So
I mean, what I was gonna say is like. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right, so honestly, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay. All right, so we'll talk.
It's late. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email right now, and we'll coordinate from there, and I'll get it taken care of for you.
There. And Avner, thanks a lot for helping us and coordinating it. It's good that you stayed on the call. You know what I mean? Interesting to hear. Okay, Avner.
Of course.
And then it was a pleasure meeting you, Daniel.
Likewise.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this class, Professor. Have a good night.
Yeah, I am too. So that's great. So we'll figure out something that we can do that's meaningful for all of us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Rather than just, you know, starting.
I appreciate you trying to go out of your way for that. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Really.
No, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what we should all do.
Yeah, and if I can help you out, in the process, you know, we all win.
Yeah. No, it'd be interesting to even to do a little presentation of what you're doing, your challenges, how to you know, almost face it to you almost can kind of turn it around and face it to the class. This is what I'm looking for, you know, and almost.
Yeah, of course.
It seems like in terms of that growth of supervising basically your staff supervision, you know, that's a problem for a lot of people, you know, not even just for you.
Especially in the online environment.
Yeah, but it's all going to be like that. You know, it's not saying that nothing's going back, you know, even though you'll have concerts later, but it's still going to be blended, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
Nothing's going back. Okay, great.
I mean, yep. All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Ciao. Take care. Send me an email. Okay.
Very impressive kid.
Huh?
Very impressive kid.
Yeah, he looks like he's been in the womb selling.
Yeah. All right, fine. So I'll see you then Wednesday. It's going to be kind of the same thing because it's a new class again, right?
New class, new things. Let's meet at 7:20.
Okay.
Now we know how to do it, and then you can even at that time we should be able to do I told them to set up the audit section at that time, and we'll see how many people. And now you know how to add people, and because I'm sure by next week there'll be people adding, dropping a lot. You know what I mean? They'll be switching. You know how people are switching. How are your classes?
So I actually didn't start yet. I have only Tuesday, Thursday classes. So tomorrow is my first day.
And that's great when you're working with me. So Monday, Wednesday is kind of like
I tried to set it up like that so that.
No, but it's perfect. So and then you can study the whole day and then just in the evening.
100%.
Okay.
All right. Take care. I'll see you Wednesday.
Thanks. Bye. Let's do that. I'll tell you what I found.
Okay, so now we can make it a little is smaller and wrap everything up. So first of all, you want to wrap up this one. You want to go to Fisher. So start the recording. Save the recording. It'll be version D. Let's turn some lights here. It'll be version D. Now the time is 10:30. 10:30. Yeah. So let's see how many screens was there. 41 screens. Okay, put it in a comment. Okay. Now, put it in an open here. Say in the chat here. Okay. Where else? Okay. Okay. That box. Okay. Find. Okay. Let's stop the video here. System error code 5 access is denied. Let's see if it works and we play it back. So this is the beginning of a broadcast example, and the video includes this folder. I'm going to create also a folder, a Word folder, so we'll have the special features of a rich text. I'm going to copy it from here. Copy. Open a new Word folder. File. I'm going to close some of the other folders. Now we got that folder name. We're going to put it to the log file and close some other files so there are not too many files that are open. We'll start with a text file here. Let's go back to go to the log folder. So I'm going to look for LMNOP log. Now paste the file name, and this is going to be a text file. So I'm going to put in after the date and the time. This is YouTube line. TXT. Going to be a text file log. So I'm going to put in after the date. Then we'll make an equivalent with Word. Now we're going to stop there. Okay, so I saved it as a text file and I marked it as a text file, and now I'm pasting it at the top.